All right, artists, for this next watercolor technique, you will want to practice creating a graded wash where it goes from a more saturated color to closer to the white of the paper, instead of the flat wash where we have about the same color all the way throughout the shape. So I'm gonna do a graded wash in this section here. I was kind of thinking about how the sky looks a lot of the time where it's a bolder color at the top of the sky, and the closer it gets to the horizon line, the color gets lighter and lighter and lighter. So I mixed kind of a bluish color. I used blue, a little bit of red and yellow, which would make an orange to kind of dull it out. So you want to start with a really saturated color. So a lot of the actual paint, and you do still want a good amount of water as well, just to be able to fill the top section. But it's more important that it's a really saturated color, so really nice and bright. All right. So I'm going to start with my saturated color right along the top edge here. All right, and we should be adding enough water and paint so that the water is dripping down towards that bottom edge, giving it that bead. All right, now I'm gonna rinse my brush out with water. I don't need my brush to have a ton of water in it, so I'm gonna soak some of it out. And I'm going to take this bead right underneath, drag it down to start bringing that paint down, but now it's a more watered version. Do the same thing. Not too much water in my brush, otherwise it's going to make the paint do some weird things that you'll experience with wet on wet technique. Just keep taking this paint down. I can go over my paint if I'm noticing it's not really getting pulled. Maybe it's too absorbed into the paper. Bring it down a little bit. Rinse my brush out. So our goal is to have a more saturated color to really light color and a smoothish transition on the way down. If you have extra paint or color or water at the bottom, dry your brush off and then just use it to soak up any extra water that might be at the bottom of your section. And just like with my flat wash, I can do other techniques, practices on top. If I was doing this for a more specific painting, and this wasn't a bold enough color or not quite the right color, I would just let this dry and then paint on top of it later. Hope that helps.